All right, we're going to take a few minutes to talk about my AI policy and just clear that up. It's in the syllabus, it's in the discussion of that, but I just want to pull that out separately to make sure that everything's clear for that. And so I have that referenced on the screen behind me, so I'll be looking at it just to get all the wording right and everything for that, so we're all on the same page for that. But again, just defining plagiarism is basically use of another person's work without giving them credit, okay? And not having individual thought for that. Not Our improper use of AI generated material is also part of that. Okay? And so what I've done is I've decided that as an English teacher, I realize and recognize the fact that artificial intelligence, generative AI, is something that is here to stay. It is going to be used in your careers in the future, and you need to understand how to use that correctly. So I'm trying to tie that into the classroom for that. And so I did a lot of searching this summer, a lot of thinking about how I wanted to do that, looking at a lot of different policies. And I found one that I actually really liked, and it came from the National FFA organization and their policies in there. And so they have a document they call the Standard Operating Procedures on the Use of Artificial Intelligence for National FFA Programs and Events. Big words, okay? So I tweaked it a little bit, and it just simply says this. Students in my classes, not other teachers' classes. Okay, keep that in mind. My classes may use generative AI tools. Okay, examples: ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, other things like that, to assist them in the learning. So the things that you can use AI for in my classroom: generating initial ideas for assignment and projects, the beginnings of your ideas, confirming facts, checking for and correcting grammatical errors written in that, but the paper's written by you, but ask it to grammar check it, to spell check it. Those are important things. Okay, so what I'm looking for in the standards in all this is that students have to know and understand and agree that the papers that they submit, the assignments that they submit, are their own effort and ability. They have created them and they've been completed alone, unless you're allowed to use a group project. Okay, and in that case, it's created by the group. Okay? If you use generative AI for any assignment, you must give credit to that. Okay? So, just like you have to give and research, quote authors, you cite a source, things like that. Same thing in this. It needs to be done either a bibliography, a footnote, an endnote, somewhere in your assignment. You need to give me the fact that you use generative AI and what it was for. Okay? It is your responsibility as a student to make sure that the use of AI doesn't violate any privacy rules, copyright rules, anything like that. You're responsible for accuracy for that. And if I ask you about it, you have to be able to explain to me how you used AI to get your initial ideas, to get the thoughts, and then how you expanded on that. And so you're going to have to be able to cite those things and give me that. So that's the big things. I heard a quote one time that said, if you're a good writer, you don't need AI. If you're a bad writer and use AI, I will know. Okay? And for a lot of the work that you're going to be doing for my class, AI is not really a thing that's necessary, because I want you to be able to think on your own. I'm not challenging you to do these great gigantic projects this semester. There's a big one next semester, but we'll talk about that then. Okay? But using that AI for yourself. But as you're turning things in, as we're talking in class, as we're doing things, I get your voice. And if I have questions, I'm going to run it through multiple AI checkers, and then we're going to have an issue. Okay? So we'll figure out what's going on, if you've used AI from that. Okay? So can you use AI, generative AI in my class? Yes, to a point. Use it to generate the ideas, to get an outline, to get a thought, and then you write the rest of it. But that is my AI policy.